Thank you very much. I think from a broader sense, we need to look at this budget vis-a-vis the commitments which Kenya Kwanza gave to Kenyans, because that's why they were voted into office. Because even as we get into the figures, there are some broad commitments which Kenya Kwanza gave, and they are supposed to be delivered through the finance bill, essentially. To Central Kenya, for example, there was a commitment for guaranteed minimum prices for coffee, for tea, for milk, and for other farm produce. And from an income perspective, because like for example, from our region, our income comes from agriculture. This finance bill must answer the question. Then, after implementing this finance bill, what then will be the guaranteed minimum price of tea? Because it was a commitment. What will be the guaranteed minimum price of coffee? What will be the guaranteed minimum of price of milk, of cotton, of pyrethrum, and of other farm produce? Because that was the main commitment to farmers. So is coffee going to go to 200 as they committed as an output of this finance bill? That is what those people expect, because they might not understand the numbers very clearly and the argument today, but the impact of this to them is what they need to take home. So Kenya Kwanza must tell us, out of this finance bill, then what will be the guaranteed price of coffee to Mount Kenya farmers, of tea, of milk, of rice, because that was their commitment. As we speak, tea attracts about 42 levies, 42 taxes. And when I was a governor, together with the governor of Kericho, we had actually gone to court, and the matter is still in court, trying to challenge the 42 levies against tea as a crop or as a sector. The matter is still in court. So those are the matters which this bill is supposed to be resolving for our farmers. But they're just giving us figures which are actually indicative of the fact that fertilizer is going to go up, the cost of transport is going to go up, packaging costs is going to go up. So when are we going then? How are we then going to get those deliverables? That is very important. They must tell, especially because I'm from Central and I'm not biased, and I'm speaking also for others, then what will be the price of the guaranteed minimum price of coffee to farmers? Tea, milk, cotton, that was a commitment. So they can do what they want, but then announce those prices as part of the finance bill. Lastly, this is not the only finance bill. We are going to have other 47 finance bills from every county. And because the model is the same, and the principle is the same, and the alignment is Kenya Kwanza, and this is a philosophy, it means we now expect worse bills from the counties. So how are we going then to marry the county finance bills and this finance bill and then say this is the overall burden to our people? Because this is half of the burden, or partial burden. So someone need to tell us then what will be the overall impact, because this is half the journey. There is another one which is going to come from the devolved system. What will be the overall impact to the average Kenyan of this bill? Because the other levies which are being discussed, and they have been encouraged, by the way, to make sure that they raise as much money as possible, because there is no money from Treasury. So as we look at it, we need to then ask what will be the overall impact, and we also need to assess, and our team need to get into the county finance bills so that we know the overall impact of this year's finance budget from both national and county governments. Thank you.
of Azimio, the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, it's my singular duty this morning to welcome all of you to this very, very important event that's going to take a very, very short time. As you are aware, the country is in a crisis that has been orchestrated by those who are in power, a crisis that has been worsened, by the intransigence of the ruling regime. And therefore today we gather here to agree on the way forward, to navigate this crisis, especially the crisis which has been exacerbated by the offending Finance Bill 2023. So today we want to listen to our leader, give us direction on the way forward. Because as a country, for sure, we need a way forward that we cannot get from the clueless, rudderless Kenya Kwanza regime. So without much ado, and welcome, Your Excellency, Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Welcome. Without much ado, allow me to welcome His Excellency, Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, the leader of the Azimio coalition, to make his address. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be upstanding as His Excellency comes forward. Thank you.
You may be seated. Members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hamjambo. Naona waandishi wa habari wanaonekana wamechelewa. Sijui kama wamepata chai au bado hawajatosheka. Now, but let me take the opportunity to welcome you to this Azimio meeting. As the leader of minority of Azimio in Parliament has already said, this is an important occasion today when we want to unveil our position as Azimio on this issue of the finance bill. I want to first take the opportunity and the privilege to introduce the Azimio Economic Council. Azimio Economic Council is led by Honorable Governor Ruto Muridi. There. You have Deputy Governor Caroline Karugu. We have Honorable John Mbadi, who is also chairman of ODM, and we have former PS Torome Saitoti. There are other members who are not there today, but we have a council that consists of 7 members. They have looked at this bill very extensively, and after I've made my remarks today, they are going to make a brief presentation to you to enforce what I'm going to say. Now we say that next week, the Kenya Kwanza regime will present the highlights of its inaugural budget and revenue-raising measures to the National Assembly. As usual, it seeks to amend laws relating to various taxes and duties, such as the Income Tax Act, Value-Added Tax, the VAT Act, Tax Procedures Act, and Excise Duty Act, while proposing new taxes, regulations, and incentives. Today, we lay out our final objection to the revenue-raising measures contained in the Financial Bill 2023. We also give final instructions